You joined the rebel movement, now you speaking to the leader. The system don't like me, the system don't like your ass either. The color of your skin, no matter to them, you are not equal. If you ain't part of the 1%, you are not we the people. They acting like they like you, but you cannot join their party. They acting like they like you, but you cannot join their party. You poor and dying on the ground, that ambulance is tardy. You rich and dying on the ground, they give you a brand new body. These cold-hearted bastards killing children in their leisure. These bastards keep their heart locked up in a cryogenic freezer. They out here drunk with power, hanging people till they seizure. They out here having orgies going both ways just like Caesar. They out here burning money you could've used to feed your family. They laughing at the people starving to death down in the valley. You protesting, they tell them robots go shoot up the rally. Till I'm finding a man with a sign in his hand, he dead up in the alley. If you tired of this shit, then let us take an oath. Said if you tired of this shit, then let us take an oath. Said if you tired of this shit, then let us take an oath. If you tired of this shit, let us take an oath. Now put one hand in the air, put one hand in the air, put one hand in the air, put one hand in the air. Throw them middle fingers up, throw them middle fingers up, throw them middle fingers up, throw them middle fingers up. Now jump up and down, 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 jump up and down.
Welcome back to Rome's Rebellion. I have a special guest with us, and this guest should be the VP, and I'm pretty sure I shouldn't have to introduce you to her. She's, powerful woman in her own right. She's, man, just one of the people that I would love to grow up to be when I get older. But I would love for y'all to give a warm welcome to Angela Walker and hear her out. And actually, let's listen for one. Not hear. Let's listen to her, because I can see the numbers from the Green Party. We have done worse, but we didn't do worse than 2020, as I've seen. And I know a lot of Trump voters, anti-Trump voters, have to do with this. But how do seeing these numbers make you feel? In our loss in the general election?
I think, first off, thank you for having me. It is a huge honor to be here. I think that because this was an election year, an election cycle, the type that we have not seen, you had a pandemic, you had a rebellion, you've got people waking up to climate change, and you had a person occupying the White House that was just ridiculous beyond the pale. I mean, they're all ridiculous, but he was absolutely ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And so I think with all of those pressure points, particularly the mishandling of the pandemic by that administration, and also, rebellion happening, our numbers, we couldn't campaign in a traditional way. There was so much fear mongering, I think more than usual.
Yes.
So much pressure on people because of the pandemic, because of the rebellion, and all the things that are falling out from that. I'm actually not surprised. I'm not surprised that, our numbers were pretty dismal. That doesn't surprise me.
What was surprising to me was the Democratic Party actually going out to reach out to hurt you all, like suing you in certain districts, getting you kicked off ballots. That's where I seen, okay, Kanye West numbers are this, and that across the board. Imagine what Green numbers would have been if we would have never got kicked off for this. Saying, okay, well, I guess this is their way of trying to make sure we don't get over this threshold 10% night. What was going, like, as the VP, what was going through your mind at this time, looking at the Democratic Party while they're just relentlessly being some cutthroat motherfuckers? What was going through your mind at the time?
That was actually my thoughts, like, you bastard. And like in Wisconsin, these people know me personally because it's where I'm from. And so, my activism, my work as the legislative director for the transit union, these legislators know me. And no one stepped up and said, yo, you know, this, she's ours. What is y'all doing? None of them. And so, you know, it's typical because actually this isn't, they do this every election cycle. They attack us every election cycle. Oh, yeah. It's not new. It's irritating. And, you know, my whole thing is like, you know, y'all it's growth because I be coming to see y'all. Oh, yeah. We'd have to have that talk, but you know, I think the biggest the takeaway from it is that people who were still under this illusion that we lived under a democracy watched that shit happen, and now they know that's not the case. So if there was a win that came out of that, it was that.
I believe the first thing I ever heard about the Green Party, I was about 13 years old, and y'all were helping what president at this time. It was like y'all were always the spoiler. You know, it's always, oh, you can't vote third party, you can't vote Green because this person is gonna win. Like, hold on. What if we all just vote Green? Won't that person win? Like, what's the problem if we vote Green and the Democrats lose and the Greens win? What would be the problem? Because if we look at the platforms, you know, Greens were actually for reparations and all kind of stuff that I was just looking like, whoa, why aren't everybody on the Green ticket? But as we can see, my generation is a lot of barking and very little bite. You know, probably a couple of nibbles from here to there. They would get online, they would talk this shit. Some people would actually use these opportunities as photo ops. But, you know, as somebody that's been in this game as long as you have, and know as much as you have, and has taught as many people as you have, how do people like me go out here on the streets and take this torch, pass and take the baton behind you, and teach my generation to don't be scared to vote Green. Don't be scared to stand up for yourself in your community. How do I teach that?
I would very gently push back with you that y'all are already doing it. You're already doing it. These movements, you know, particularly a lot of the really badass stuff coming out of Chicago, stuff coming out of Oakland, it's young people leading it. It ain't us old heads doing this, it's y'all. And so I would very gently push back that passing you the torch, you already have it. Y'all know what you need to do. The movements around fighting and reversing climate change, that's young people leading it. That's y'all who are charging, you know, this government and charging capitalism itself with robbing you of a future in a way that my generation did not do. So I would argue very gently that y'all already running it. And, you know, for us who have, you know, been in movement work and done the things that we've done, mentoring you, you know, being a resource for you, you know, making sure that we are constantly mindful of the history that we're drawing from. And I mean a specifically socialist, specifically Black radical history. I'm not talking that revisionist shit. Yeah. Like, you know, bringing those histories up, looking at the work, you know, that's being done, like, you know, Cooperation Jackson in Mississippi. Yeah. You know, you've got stuff happening in Oakland. You got, you know, Asada's daughters and all these folks in Chicago doing stuff. So, you know, it's just, y'all know what to do. My biggest thing with young folks, because this is a very youth-oriented, now, you know, immediate gratification society and culture, don't forget your history. Yeah. Don't neglect, you know, the time to sit down and study Black radical history, because we have a blueprint for y'all to draw on. Y'all gonna tweak it how you gonna tweak it, but use that history as your bedrock, you know, something to hold you and to help you move forward.
See, that reminds me something I was telling one of my followers or friends or whatever you're gonna call themselves. I had said something about Dr. Cornel West. You know, he was saying, oh, well, Dr. Cornel West said for me to do this and do that. Look, this is a big problem. We can use some of the words as stepping stones, but we can't take everything and just run with it. We can't ask our older people how to lead a revolution when they never led a revolution. You know, and some of these people are still trying to reform the Democratic Party, which we know that it's a scam within itself. You know, and I always tell people, you know, just like with some of these podcasters, some of these politicians, some of these podcasters need your life to go in that cycle in order for you to buy what they're selling. But once you break off of that, not the Cornel West Democratic Party strategy stuff or Bernie Sanders Democratic Party stuff, you start to see, you know, you start to see shit for what it is. And I guess, you know, me teaching and being an activist and stuff like that, sometimes I don't stop to smell the flowers. So I don't stop to look back and see, you know, the improvement that we actually have gotten in the improvement that we have actually got in, you know, our social media presence that we have gathered, you know, during this Trump administration, which was almost impossible with MSNBC, CNN, and even some independent news organizations going after the Green Party. But that's good to hear from you, and you know, that's all love, and I just wanted for us to hear that, you know, because a lot of people feel like they're gonna feel like how they feel. But I'm just glad that we got that out of there. But Joe Biden, we see that he's lying about and then what was that, private prisons, and his executive orders is a bunch of bullshit. Like, how do you feel? I know how you might feel about him emotionally and shit like that. How do you feel about these policies that he's pushing out right now, and the way that they are being presented? Do you think that, you know, that us as Green Party, you know, candidates, leaders, activists, can we call that shit out for what the fuck it is without now can we call it out without them saying that we're helping Trump? Do you think it's time?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was my hope that we were very clear before this regime changed, basically, that we not finna let up on you because you're not him. You're just as bad.
Yeah.
The policies that jackass continued, you initiated. Black Lives Matter became a movement under the Obama-Biden administration. Yeah. Locking young people and separating families at the border, that happened under Obama-Biden. Drone strike increases happened under Obama-Biden. So I think when we're looking at, you know, what we're looking at, you already know what it is. The shit is smoke and mirrors. Yeah. Look at these token reforms. We're gonna make this little gesture, but not dig at the heart of what targeted incarceration really is. To quote Professor Dylan Rodriguez, because I love that the way that he put that. We're gonna put Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill and placate you Negroes, rather than, you know, dig into the fact that why would you make a woman who was an emancipator and someone who risked her life to fight capitalism, which is the system that enslaved her, but you're going to make her the face of capitalism, and all of us happy little darkies are supposed to lay down and be glad for this? We know what you're doing. It's the same bullshit they were doing when they were kneeling in kente cloth. It's the same painting Black Lives Plaza in front of something, but you are not doing anything. You want to make some real gestures. We have already, as the people in this country, we have been explicit about what we need. We need a federal jobs guarantee. We need you to fight to end climate change. We need reparations for Black folks. We need housing for all right now, and we need Medicare for all right now. We need people being supported financially through this pandemic. And I'm not talking $600 in chump change. Right. We should have been getting $2,000 a month for every family, $500 a month for every child for the duration of this pandemic, which is what has been done in other countries. So all of this, oh, we're going to end this and we're going to make these little token gestures, you playing in our face. And the gratifying thing is, like you said, people are awake to it. I think in a way that they were not in 2016 when we were all like, oh, inclusion.
Yep.
Now we know that it's bullshit.
Yep. Now, right, everybody was talking about conclusion and, you know, Robert Mueller and all this crap. Now it's just all just gone. And I just received word that Trump will not be facing, he won't be facing prison time because the Supreme Court just threw out, you know, the cases and told the other small court, that's your pet, dog. You're like, get me in the show.
So you're a mess, man.
But yeah, they just told them to throw it out because it's mute and he's not the president anymore.
Wow. So as taxpayers, we are going to end up, get down, baby. We're going to end up paying this man for the rest of his life.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And he still can run in 2024, which I told people, and Twitter blew up. Of course, Twitter blew up. I said the impeachment is a distraction. They can't do nothing to this man. He has too many people in high places. Oh, well, they're going to get him for state. He has too many friends in high places. If he goes to jail, this is going to open up a can of worms that Joe Biden do not want to be facing as a white supremacist stepping out of office. And, oh, sorry about that. That's probably a scam call. But as a white supremacist stepping out of office, us convicting ex-presidents is something that Joe Biden would not want to be facing. So of course he's gonna pardon Trump, even if he didn't face, you know what I'm saying, the Supreme Court or the smaller courts in the states. So they all gonna take care of each other, but at the end of the day, they're gonna make sure that we are poor. They're gonna make sure that you go to jail over a gram, but your politician can bomb countries with brown people. But
and how many, you know, you going to jail for a gram at a time, they moving weight.
Yeah.
So, you know, it don't get here without their permission and their help.
And they
I
send
tell
their
anyone
troops
of
over to take poppy seeds from other countries, and then they send it over here to the black neighborhoods, you know, after they done did all this and that and stepped on it, because it ain't poppy seeds no more. Now it's crack and cocaine. Now they got it over here. Now they lock your black ass up. You fill up the prisons. You do it. It's all a cycle. Everybody making the money. Everybody making money besides your ass.
That's all it is.
That's all it is. I grew up. I see it. My boy just did 15 years. He just went in. He's facing 15 to life after he just did basically lifetime of probation.
I'm so sorry.
Man.
I'm so sorry.
So horrible. But we strong because we have been seeing this growing up, you know, and you know, when I talk to my boys, I'm like, look, a lot of us been in prison anyway. You know, we've been in prison in this community. A lot of us weren't gonna make it out. And I'm pretty sure you saw that. This is why we did what we did as younger men, you know, but you know, more likely you probably wasn't gonna make it.
You know, well, we weren't intended. This is a system that, you know, I think we have to be very clear about. It was intended when those folks sat down and wrote up the Constitution, you know, the Bill of Rights, all of that. We were not intended for inclusion. We were not seen as people. We are still viewed as, we're not citizens. This is not our country. We don't have a stake in it. And so, you know,
I told people, you are a taxpayer. You're not a human. You are a taxpayer. No. This is why you have insurance. You are an object. You are not a human.
Well, your job is to generate money under capitalism.
Yeah.
You are still a resource. Okay, we can't call it slavery, you know, in the way that, you know, they did during the period of enslavement.
Yeah.
We just changed names.
Yep.
I mean, okay, you go to jail for an ounce of weed under the 13th Amendment because you are incarcerated, you can be used for prison labor. They know we don't know that. That's the loophole in that needs to be closed.
And it's always one word or two words, or if, man, it's always some bullshit. That's why I say, you know, I'm always going to bring up rewriting, you know, the Constitution, amendments, Bill of Rights, all these things that just cake up white supremacy, but it's still white supremacy. in its deepest form, you know. And it's actually way more evil because you just put makeup on white supremacy and just called it, you know, peace and love. That's fucked up.
They didn't really put makeup on it if you look at it hard enough.
Right.
If you know what you're looking at, you're watching the system mutate the way this COVID virus mutates.
Yeah.
Capitalism, at the end of the day, white supremacy is an offshoot of capitalism.
Yeah.
Misogyny is an offshoot of capitalism. You have to create all of these systems of oppression to justify the fact that under capitalism, somebody has to be on the bottom.
Yeah.
So you create these systems of oppression to justify the people that you are keeping on the bottom.
Yep. It's like people arguing, oh, we should send kids back to school. I'm like, send your fucking ugly ass kids back to school. My kids ain't going back to school. Like, I swear, what state do you live in? Because I be wanting to throw hands with some of these people because you can't. There's no way you real. First of all, you got to be in the CIA. There's no way you're a fucking real parent, for one. You have to have money and some type of destruction to want to see kids go back to school, knowing that we see numbers of people dying, and all you can say is only so-and-so amount of people is going to die. Dude, listen to yourself talk. Only so-and-so. Nobody should die. Nobody should die, period. This is what we are trying to stop. So you trying to send kids off to school. Okay, well, let's say I'm anti-mask, anti-vaxxer. So not only is my kids high risk of polio, chicken pox, smallpox, all that stuff, I don't wear a mask. So they might have coronavirus. So let's send them back to school around your fucking bratty ass kids and then send that shit to them, the teachers, lunch aid, all that. You don't understand how, diseases work. Like this is so fucked up. And this is why I don't take I kind of cringe when people say, well, black people is so-and-so on education in America. Bro, America education is so low compared to the other nations. That's not a brag. That's not a bragging point, man. It's so fucked up. Like they're trying to send kids back to school to die. How do you feel about that? About the whole, work, going back to work, and do you feel like people should be paid to stay home since we, basically make this fucking economy,
I absolutely do. And that was the whole point in, calling for $2,000 for every adult for the duration of the pandemic, $500 for every child, so that people are not being forced out into the workplace, out into schools during a plague, because that's what we're dealing with. And it's why we can't seem to stop, baby. We can't seem to flatten the curve. And, I think this is really, really plain to see, because people, if you look at the end of the day, they're not hollering about, we want to send our kids to their deaths. I don't have the resources for childcare because I am being forced to go back to work. I can't stay home with my children. And I don't know what to do. My back is up against a wall. I don't know where I'm going to, have the resources to safely, have my children cared for while I'm being forced out to work during a plague. I think the thing that we have to do when we see people acting an ass like that, you have to look deeper. Like that stuff we saw earlier in 2020, where you had all of these doofuses going to the various state capitals and just acting a fool because they wanted to open things back up.
Yep. I did some interviews out there on Lansing with some idiots. Yep.
But the thing is, what they aren't articulating is not necessarily is the fact that they don't necessarily want to go back to work. It's the fact that their financial obligations have not stopped since, you're not working, but your bills ain't stopped. Your bills still working.
Yep.
And you don't, you're facing eviction. Possibly you're facing, the repossession of things that you need, the loss of resources. So at the end of it, at the base of it, which because we don't We're not real good about digging deep in this country and like getting the root causes. But at the bottom of it is not necessarily, hey, it's not I want to go back to work. It's my government has failed me, and I'm too chicken shit to say that. But my government has failed me by not providing the financial support that I need to be able to shelter in place and comply with what's being asked of us. Had we been receiving the money we were supposed to receive, for the duration, you would not see half of the shit you say. Now, do I think that there's always going to be pockets of people that my freedom and I don't want to be infringed upon by actually having to give a damn about whether I give this shit to other people?
Yep.
There's always going to be that. But you would not, I honestly believe you would not have seen the level of violence and how widespread that was, at these state capitals protesting, quarantine measures, because people have not been taken care of because their government has failed them. And they are too chicken shit to say that.
Yep. They want to go against Democrats or Republicans, but they don't want to go against the government as a whole, against people versus the government. Because when they bail out these banks, when they bail out all these hedge funds, when they bail out all these people besides us, it hurts everyone. It hurts us. It don't hurt them, But I wanted to speak on reparations. No, hold on. Let's take it back. Everett. This is a new segment on my show called A Little Birdie. Heard from a Little Birdie. And hold on, let me get the segment right, because it should be some green screen shit. I'm gonna show you some green screen, so we're gonna cut this. So I heard from a little bird. That's what it's called. I heard from a little bird. New segment. And since Angela Walker is here, I think I should be the one to ask you this. And to tell you, actually, Howie Hawkins is fucking white bread. And I heard from a little bird that you should have led the ticket. Like, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about a lot of people? Like, I actually agree with Howie Hawkins because he's an older white male. I know his history, but I wasn't checking into Howie Hawkins. I was checking into Angela Walker most of the time y'all was running. So how do you feel about, a lot of Green Party voters saying that, you should have led the ticket?
I think that anybody that says that doesn't know Howie. There's a reason Howie was the top of the ticket. He absolutely should be. He's a person that I personally feel should be leading this country. Because when you talk about making those connections, making those root causes, and digging down to why things are the way that they are, and figuring out a plan, like this is not pie in the sky shit, this is documented.
Yeah.
That's your man. Howie is one of the, not only, it's not just a matter of being able to spiel off things that but making the connections to how we can actually make the platform that we stood on.
Yep.
He did the budget that makes it doable. He did the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, I read that. I read your website. It is everything coming together before I threw my hat in for y'all. I read everything. I even did commercials for the Green Party in Texas, and I was like, yeah, I can do it. I can get down with this. This looks
that's
legit.
Howie. But that's Howie. When people say stuff like that, it's like, yo, that Green New Deal y'all love, that's the cat that wrote it. Yeah. Medicare for All, that's one of the collaborators that helped put that together. Well, when you even talking about the Green Party itself.
And the social media era, and seeing like it's more of pizzazz than anything. Because even though Trump was ugly as shit, fat, he had a mouth and he knew how to sell itself. I think a lot of people wanted identity politics more than what y'all were pushing. More than, like, look, we ain't got time for all that black first female shit, this and that. Let's get the job done. And let's worry about what the first black female VP has accomplished later on. I guess that's what y'all were getting at. But a lot of people, even myself, I think y'all would have did a lot better as as the black female leading. But then again, would you? Because then you would have had Democrats say, oh, well, she's going out there to Kamala Harris. Then you had it would have been all type of shit. But I'm glad that, you know, one of my highest paying Patreons, I think he paid like $30. So I had to ask that. But
No,
I wanted to know that my damn self.
But no, I've heard it a lot. And while I appreciate the compliment that I think is embedded in it, I also know what my capacity is and why he picked me as a running mate.
Yeah.
And so, you know, one of the things about Howie and I, we actually complement one another.
Yeah.
So our styles are complementary. But when you talk about these policies and the fact that there is a Green Party, period, this was one of the OGs that founded it. I'm like, dog, y'all, I mean, do people read? It's like, do y'all even know who this cat is?
No, they don't.
And just because he's not out front, you know, aren't we tired of entertainers being leaders?
We just had a celebrity president.
Don't we want somebody that actually has a solid plan that actually draws on history and draws on reality and fiscal reality? Don't we want somebody to that has those things and knows how to implement them? Don't we want that kind of leadership? Because I mean, you know, I'm tired of bombast. Bombast is not getting people housed or fed or cared for. So my thing is like Carrie said at the top before we started taping, and I've used the expression a whole lot. We got to get past the hero worship, the celebrity worship. We got to get past this bread and circuses shit. Otherwise, we are never going to get out of the situation that we find themselves in, which is fine with the ruling class. They know, throw them something new, throw them a new bone. That's all they need.
Any way you can, shit. Man, we'll get
that's all they need.
Anything.
Keep them down here, and they're not paying attention to us. We got to get hip at some point, y'all.
Just like people was mad at me when I was like, we would have been living better under Trump. And motherfuckers like, this and that said. I'm like, I said we. I ain't say you or me, motherfucker. I said we. I could have been talking about my family. You don't fucking like, people always jump. But that's the thing, you know, then you got the tone police out there. You got the people who want you to stay in this box of lefties that are perfect. I'm like, bro, I'm from Detroit. I done did a lot of shit that probably, you know, get me fucked up right now. And y'all don't understand that. Like, why y'all telling me, you know, you shouldn't say stuff like this, bro. You are the reason why the blacks don't like the left right now. You know, I'm trying to give blacks like me a chance to open, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm trying to open up the door because niggas feel just like me. Niggas come to Detroit and you're going to see niggas who feel just like me. You're going to have Trump supporters in Detroit. Real life black people Trump supporters. You know, because of the direct shit that he did. It wasn't much. But all you need to do is just put some fucking money in their pocket, man. And they're going to come up from there. We're not babies. People know how to hustle here. People know how to come up. Even if we take this legal money and make it and flip it illegal, we're going to come up. Just put the fucking money in the people's hands and they're going to know what to do. But, tone police. Yeah, them motherfuckers. My Twitter took him down, but I should have another one. They always get taken down every 6 months or so. Some shit like that. So.
I'm waiting on them to get me. I'm going to say the wrong thing at some point.
You got that check. You should be good.
What does that even mean? You know, nobody has ever explained to me what that means.
It just mean that you know enough to be imitated and emulated.
Because it popped up one day and I was like, oh, okay, there's a thing. Oh my God.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, you've been in newspapers, you've been in articles, you know, you've been known enough around the country for somebody to make a fake page and say, hey, I'm Angela Walker, fuck Joe Biden, he's a fucking racist with a small dick. Like, oh shit, Angela Walker out here going off on Joe Biden. That's what stopped. That's what stopped.
I never said that. I got problems with him, but I can keep it out of the realm of the person. I got a lot of problems with him. I ain't got to get personal. He bad enough no matter how we do it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to go there with it.
Oh my God. But yeah, that's all that does is stop that type of shit. But then people so smart with the internet, they're just, you know, saying Photoshop that shit and make it look like you said it.
They do. People know my tone because I mean I got a filthy mouth. Yeah. And not only do I have a filthy
tweets one day, I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's good because I was about to go off on these motherfuckers.
Oh no, I know how to. It was like y'all can take that shit to the left. Like I'm not here to Twitter fight with people. I'm not Donald Trump. I'm not gonna argue with you. If you need to be right, but when you come from my people in a way that denigrates their humanity, I'm gonna block your ass. We're not gonna discuss it. You're blocked. I'm not finna do that.
That's one thing I keep telling people like I'm not a Twitter guy. I'm not an online activist. I am a real life activist. I will and like, bro, real life, I will fucking see you. Like, I don't like, dog. Y'all niggas do this internet shit. I'm really on the streets, real life shit. You know.
I think it has its place though, wrong.
Compare ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Before you step to me, what did you do for the socialist movement besides follow people back on Twitter? You know, you are a reply guy. You don't teach people anything, so stay in your fucking place. You know, and I hate to be like, oh, you're a fucking peasant, but shit, it is what it is. You know, when you step into teachers, you know, you better have them fucking credentials your damn self. You want to teach somebody some shit, you better be a damn teacher your damn self. You know, but reparations, important, and I don't think they're gonna ever get passed as long as we have dictators running this country. But I think that we can get Black people off of the Democratic Party ticket with this thing if we come at them harder. Like I read the reparations proposal. I forgot how much y'all said exactly, but I think we can go for more. I think if we hit every corporation that used shackleton slavery and hit their net worth, hit everything in that game, put some type of, tether on their money, and put that money directly into Black people, or we can like try to get Black people talking about this. Cause, I was arguing about this with Marianne Williamson people. I was like, $15 trillion isn't enough for Black people. I'm trying to count this. I'm like, shit, we can get $15 trillion just by taxing, the tobacco companies, the fucking train companies, and it was the banks, Chase Bank, and shit like that. I'm like, that's $15 trillion right there. We can tax them 10% of their wealth. They use shackleton slavery, but I think this reparations, how do you feel about us just going stronger with it, like going all out, saying the fucking, just go Hail Mary with it and say, bitch, y'all owe us everything until we actually get something. Because, having a low number is going to give us a lower number. We know this.
I think the biggest thing also is like to draw on, because, organizations like NCOBRA have been doing this work. They've been doing it for decades.
Yeah.
Around the way that reparations should look. And I think it's also important for our people to know that when we're talking about reparations, we are not just talking about, okay, put a check in my hand. Because at the end of the day, you give me a dollar amount of a check, put the check in my hand. What am I going to do with that money? Hey, 9 times out of 10, put it back into the system it came from. What did we gain as far as building power as a people?
Yep.
When we're talking about reparations for us, what we're talking about is Black self-determination. We are talking about policing our own neighborhoods. We are talking about ownership of the banks and entities that touch our neighborhoods the closest. If it is in our neighborhood, it belongs to us. One of the documents, well, not necessarily documents, but there is which the movement for Black lives, as problematic as they are right now, Lord Jesus, if y'all divorce yourselves from the Democratic Party, we can talk. Until then, we ain't got nothing to talk about. But they did that, they did their Black National Convention this year virtually. And what they were drawing on was the first one, Black National Convention that happened. I want to say it was in Detroit. I want to say, don't quote me on this because I ain't got it in front of me, but it was 1972. There is a Black manifesto that came out of that convening that is to this day pure fire. And if you want it, I'll give you my email and then I can send you the information I got on it. Calling from putting the churches on notice in this country. You owe the banks, you owe us. These corporations, you owe us. This, and they did a breakdown. Black control of the media, Black control of newspapers, Black control of the police, Black control of schools, all of those things. Now you're talking about building power. Putting a check in my hand one time does not absolve this country of anything. My ancestors got beef with you. Yep. I can't forgive you because
that's one thing I
don't have the right to do that.
That's one thing I was getting into with ADOS when I was out canvassing for Bernie, and it was like, you know what? I'm like, dog, we need foundation first. We need foundation first. So okay, let's just say they throw money at us. Look how they gave Native American reparations. What representation do Native Americans have in the media, let alone, like, come on, man. Okay, they gave reparations to the fucking Japanese. What the fuck do the Japanese got? So, of course, we're gonna need, he said Bernie Sanders was wanted to fight the war that was the war on drugs. Basically, all that money that the government made off the war on drugs, going back into Black communities, building this, building that, blah, blah, blah. These are long-term goals. Okay, we might not see them ourselves. The point is not to fucking, it's not a fucking race, it's a marathon. And the point is not to fucking, to get it right then and there. It's to fight for it for our kids can take off on it, And
my grandkids, I got 7 grandchildren. I mean, when we're talking about looking at policies that are long-term and making sure that my grandkids are not fighting the same battles I'm fighting, that my grandparents was fighting, that my mom and them was fighting. We have got to build power and putting a check in our hands, this one-time check, which basically this country writes it off and says, okay, didn't we pay y'all? We don't owe you nothing else. And these systems of oppression continue. What did we change? So, it's like, I don't have an objection to cash amounts being paid out to people, but for me, because Ado's gonna come for me, and I already know, and I'm not worried about you motherfuckers. I'm gonna just say that.
They always come. They come and go. They'll be all right.
I'm like, just sit your asses down. You'll be all right. But because I'm not with that for so many different reasons. But this idea of giving people a one-time check and then all of a sudden the debt to our people is paid, that's insulting. Yeah. It's insulting.
I heard a lot of ADOS actually was working with Trump. I heard that. The leaders was working for Trump or some shit like that, but it would make sense because they wasn't pushing, anybody anywhere else. They was pushing people off of Bernie Sanders. They wasn't pushing people towards Biden. Who else are you guys voting for? Like, are you trying to tell Black people to hold their vote? Okay, I understand that. But Bernie is the closest thing you're going to get to reparations ever right now. Like, this is, if we're going to talk about on a general election thing, we know we're not going to get some big green party that we want. All right, so we're going to settle for fucking Bernie. We settle for Bernie, and y'all don't even want to settle for Bernie. And y'all want to make us settle for Biden. I'm like, no, that's it. That's it. They moving too far. This is where I stop because I know that I wasn't going to get reparations under Bernie, but the reparations under Biden is him coming to your house and putting a record player on and telling you that you are illiterate and don't know how to raise your fucking kids. He said that on the debate stage, not me. I'm not putting words in that man's mouth.
I know.
He's
completely out of touch with the whole concept of reparations and the idea of Black self-determination that is not specifically based in Black capitalism. that we are being very explicit in saying it is not Black capitalism that is going to save our people. That is not the answer.
It's just gonna put
to what's happening with us.
It's just gonna put poor people under our chains. Don't y'all not understand that white people is living horrible under capitalism too? What is going on? So you want to become the slave master and the slave? Because if Black capitalism, I don't get it. They getting this nationalism, they're getting Black nationalism mixed up with Black capitalism and Black socialism and Black communism. They're getting all these fucking things mixed up because they don't even know where the fuck they stand. They read fucking books and watch these Malcolm X videos, you know what I'm saying? And they get these videos from these niggas, then they listen to these fucking fake ass Black conservatives, and now they all these fucking ideologies all mixed up, and they don't know where the fuck they belong. They just saying all types of stupid shit, and when a nigga call them out, they saying, oh, no, well, you know what? I'm not gonna vote for your person. You know, nigga, ain't my fault. You sound fucking stupid. How the fuck is Black nationalism? You know, Malcolm X was not calling for the, you know, he was not calling for us to eliminate white people. He was not calling for us to step on the Black, on the backs and necks of the white person. He said, the white man, you know what I'm saying? It's always a bigger, when you say white man, of course, it's not just a white man. He's talking about the government. Idiots. No, not your fucking neighbors that go through the same shit that you have to go through. Your kids go to the same school. What kind of woke idiot are you? Like, my beef with them, it goes up and down. I got a couple of them following me, but I just don't agree with, they swag. They just let me fuck up.
I mean, I got a couple of people that I've spoken to who, you know, we don't, and they know, you know, I'm not part of your movement. I will not be part of your movement. It ain't in me. I am a diasporist. I am an internationalist. I have been my entire life. I know, you know, as a Pan-Africanist, that the history of my people on these shores did not begin on these shores. We were taken from a continent that has an amazing history, and we were enslaved and brought to this place, and we have created a history of resilience that is unbelievably amazing. But we cannot separate ourselves from Africa. And we cannot, as Black Americans, or me, separate ourselves from the oppression of Black people throughout the diaspora, throughout the Caribbean, throughout the Americas, you know, Central South America, you know, Afro-Mexicans, the whole nine. These are all my people. And to restrict my scope of care and interest to just people who look like me within, I mean, are we gonna have to pull out papers to show, you know, to prove that we had enslaved, enslaved ancestors? We doing this to each other? Is we really finna do this?
That's what they wanted. They said, oh, well, how do we know everybody is really African-American descent and blah, blah, blah? I was like, look, I got mixed kids, bro. I don't give a fuck how white their mother, how Jewish their mother is. If they got family in the fucking slave trade, they come from a bloodline of fucking slaves. I'm not trying to hear your what ifs, your mix. You call my kids a fucking mutt. I'm a mutt. I'm a mutt. Passed down shit. My fucking father is Native American and Mexican, you know? And my grandfathers are African and this and that. Once you get passed down, I'm pretty sure if we do these tests, like ADOS really want, a lot of them won't even fucking pass their own fucking
racial purity test.
They won't even pass their own shit.
If you 5 generations deep into your lineage on this continent, you are pure nothing. I am so sorry. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it happened. And that's part of who we are. And it is nothing to be ashamed of or to downplay. It is what it is. My thing is to disconnect ourselves as Black Americans with our very, very unique history on this continent, because it is very unique, very tumultuous, glorious, and messy history on this continent. To take just us and disconnect ourselves from the struggles of our people in Africa, the struggles of our people throughout the Caribbean, through the struggles of our people throughout the Americas, and also the struggle of Afro-Europeans.
Yeah.
And to say, because this is where I was born, this is all I'm concerned with, we look stupid.
Yeah. What reparations are we going to be forcing our government to give to West Africans, their countries? What reparations don't stop with us. It don't start with us and it won't stop with us. So if we're pushing for African American reparations, we're going to push for African, West African, South African reparations for the slave trade. You know? So the shit is not just about us. Like we said, it's not a race, it's a fucking marathon. If we want to get all of our people, you know what I'm saying, back on their feet and off their fucking knees, we have to go at this government all together as, you know, African Americans, as mutts, as Africans, as Caribbeans, whatever your fucking race is. We gonna have to go toe to toe with this government. And I know a lot of people don't want to get their hands dirty. They don't want to teach. They don't want to do this. Just act like you do. Just stand right there and be a fucking whatever. Just act like you know the words to the song. But don't just, you know, be in the way and say, well, I don't know, this, man, they're gonna kill us, or they're gonna kill us with or without your permission. You might as well go down with a fight. You might as well go down teaching people like, look, all it takes is this, you know.
But I mean, I don't think it's gonna come to a point where we're looking them in the face and like, you know, there's this civil war. That's not this.
Hell no.
We've got organizations that, like I said, have been working on that. If people are interested, find out about NCOBRA. You know, find out about the organizations that are really decades deep in doing the work around reparations. You know, read up on our past leaders who have put this forth. This is not a new idea.
No,
you know, go read some more Du Bois. Go read Marcus Garvey.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We need, goes back to what I said earlier, learn your history. Because what you and I are talking about did not just pop up.
Is they blew up a little bit too fast. For a group about reparations for America, they had a voice a little bit too fast, you know? Like any voice that anybody that speaks up about reparations, any organization that speak up for reparations for African Americans it's some underground railroad type shit. Like you really have to go find. But for them, the people to be all over the internet and all, you know, some of these people meeting presidents.
Well, my thing is, you know, do what you do. But at the end of the day, I want it to be very clear. You don't speak for me. Yeah. You do not speak for me. You do not speak for my family. You do not speak for my friends who are in movement work. You do not speak for us. We don't ride with this. I mean, if I'm a socialist, I'm explicitly socialist. I am unapologetically socialist. Yeah. And I'm an intersectional socialist.
Yeah.
I cannot separate the fight for freedom for my people within these borders from the struggles of other peoples who are oppressed around the world. I cannot separate my struggle from that, and I will not. And that's just all that people can be as mad and come for me as much as they want. You may as well just shout it in the wind, baby, because I'm not listening.
Yeah, I guess some Black people do want, you know, revenge. But if you want revenge,
that's stupid.
Just say that, you know, put your revenge, you know, get a fucking whiteboard, you know, make up your fucking conspiracies and pinpoint the motherfucker who did this. But do not get in power and hurt everybody that's under you. That is not what being Black is about.
If you are not trying to call out capitalism as the chief evil that does what it does to our people, then you ain't talking about shit.
Right.
If you are not talking about uprooting the system that enslaved our people and continues to enslave and oppress our people, If you're not calling that system out, if you're trying to do what you have to do to get, get a pass to be a part of the club to join that system, then you're not talking about shit. And miss me. You're not calling out capitalism, we don't have nothing to talk about.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad I'm getting that energy from you. That's what I'm talking about. I love that energy, man. I love this aura around you. I've been following you for a while, just in the shadows and whatnot, because if you saw me pass your house every day, you'll probably call the police.
I'm such a recluse. Don't nobody. I mean, I have a very isolated life.
Yeah. I try, but I reach out to too many people and they be like, oh, you know what, just fucking come over. But that's, I got a lot of backup, and I don't. So I ain't gonna say I got security, but I got it.
You know how to move, but, and that's what that is.
Oh yeah, it is what it is. They know you answer the door like, hey, it's on me.
People know I don't even have voicemail set up. It's like, look, you screening? I said, you ain't know?
Man.
Don't nobody just show up over here. That does not happen. It does not. First off, don't nobody know where I live. Second of all, it's like I'm not a people person, which is what, like you asked about me running again. That's another reason that I'm not. Yeah. This process is exhausting.
It is.
And for someone who's naturally an introvert, which I am, I don't have the bandwidth for it. I mean, can I show up when I have to? And, had we, in some alternate amazing universe, had we won, absolutely step up and handle business and do what we said we were going to do. That wouldn't have been a problem. But as far as the day-to-day constant interaction with people, I can't. If I don't have to do it, I don't.
Yeah, even me running for city council, it was like, I was like, yeah, let me drop out this time. I mean, I'm gonna do it again next year.
you see exactly what I'm saying. It's vicious.
Man, and they won't let me run as a communist for some reason.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
There's a whole communist party out here, but they won't let me. Like, oh, you're gonna be Democrat? And I'm like, no, hell no. Like, and then I guess the people went back and they probably saw all my shit. They like, oh shit, Democrats gonna have a problem on their hands if I get a fucking microphone in my hands. I'm going around like, look, these motherfuckers ain't shit, y'all. So I don't know. They made it hard for me on the ground. A lot of people was like, oh, Ron finally running and shit like that. But once I heard them, people was like, we're gonna kill you, basically. And I was like, all right, let me go get some shit together. Let me go get me an organization behind me before I dive head first and get my ass murdered by the Democratic Party.
You're a threat to the system, particularly, in places, which is most cities, where you have these entrenched political dynasties that are very invested in making sure things stay the way they are.
Look how you come. I keep telling people, like, dog, how long you been voting Democrat? And Detroit been ruling over Democrat for how long? Like, come on, man, let's do something different. There's another party. They got liquor and weed, bro. Like, not just, real shit. There's another party. It's the Green Party. There's the weed over there, man. Y'all over there passing that little blunt around. But, man, I wanted to thank you because I can sit here and talk to you forever because you is just so beautiful to me. And you have, everything about you is just like, beautiful inside and out. Like,
I'm an asshole, so I don't want nobody walking around thinking that I'm an asshole, but that's why I'm not gonna bullshit you.
That's why I think you're so beautiful. Honestly, like I'm an asshole. I'm like, like, wow, this nigga said that. I just don't hold back. I don't hold back. I'm not an innocent guy, but I just don't give a fuck. I'd have been through so much trouble. It's like it's nothing you can say to stop me. Only I can stop myself. And that's how I feel about you. I think even though you're not going to run again, you still have made a hell of an impact in this world. And I will be teaching my daughter, my sons, well, I got like a son and a half, I guess, because I do donate sperm and shit. So, but I'm gonna teach everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna teach everybody about you. You know, all the journeys, everything, because they need to learn. You know, especially my daughter. You know, she's gonna need moderate, strong Black women to look up to. You know, we read about our Harriet Tubmans. We read about Rosa Parks. We have a lot of examples right here today, and you is definitely one of them.
That's mind blowing.
I just want to.
No, that's mind blowing. That's one of them things, like, I can hear it now, and it's something that I will be processing like the rest of the night. That's huge, because when you do the stuff you do it because it needs to be done.
Yes.
And honestly, I can say, like, I'm fine with being like this one little link in this massive chain. There's one little tiny link that, at this little pinpoint in history, I did this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else looked at this little pinpoint, this little thing that I did, and said, you know what? Because she did that tiny little thing, I can do a bigger thing.
Yeah. You might be the strongest link that we have right now, especially with every Black woman. I mean, like, look at the voting records. Almost every Black woman is falling for the Democratic Party, not paying attention, not paying attention. A big block of women that's voting, Black women, continue to vote for the Democratic Party, even though their cities have been destroyed. Like, I talked to my parents, like, I stopped my mother from voting Democrat for over 40 years. My auntie, I had to get all these people off the Democratic Party pacifier, because I'm like, look, it's not working. Stop it. Like, we are destroying our own communities, whether we know it or not. Like, yes, the white man does these things, but we vote these men in. We give them the power, the tools. Stop it. We are destroying ourselves. So let's take a step back, and actually look at what the fuck we're doing to ourselves before we point it out. Oh, well, he was in office, he did. No, motherfucker, y'all had the voting power, you did it. And I'm so happy, I can look at, I can teach my daughter and my nieces, my sisters. I point to you, when I'm teaching about, Black women that rebels against the Democratic Party in the toughest times, especially with this Trump shit going on. That was you got one hell of a backbone to stand there and take them blows that y'all had took about helping Trump, being a Russian puppet, this and that. You are one hell of a one. And you got bigger balls than a lot of these niggas, for real. That took a lot. And I will, be writing you down in all the history books that they let a nigga write in, for real. Because I'm be like, yeah, this is historic. It's bigger than what people actually want to put it as, because, man, the numbers is heartbreaking. The numbers from the Green Party and numbers for Biden, the numbers for Trump, it's all heartbreaking. I'm just like, holy fuck. And, at least somebody, I can point at somebody for a real life example. Like, they really.
But these are people you also know too that are your real life examples. Black women leftists. We out here. So I mean, it's
just not in my real life. It's hard. I gotta make.
I'm surrounded by them. It's pretty.
I need them. I try, but trying to get through 50 years of propaganda is a motherfucker. That's a motherfucker, especially when, like, come on, man, we in Detroit. This is like one of them. Education is bullshit. So
yeah, but y'all, as far as activism,
man,
y'all doing it.
Yeah,
y'all doing it.
Yeah.
And like visionary, the stuff that's come out of Detroit around the visionary piece. Like, what could we do if we were not doing this? Don't downplay that. It's badass. And it's the stuff that inspires me. Like, what could we do? It's not just enough for us to fight against what is. We also, like our ancestors, which is why I love Afrofuturism, you know, our ancestors knew, okay, maybe I'm not going to see this thing in my life. Mm-hmm. What kind of a world do I want, though? What do I want? You know, what do I, you know, we're going to keep going and we're going to keep doing, because the day is going to come when the way that we are existing is not, this isn't us anymore. We know what it means to be free, even when we're not. And, you know, stuff that I've seen that's come out of Detroit is where people are saying, okay, now you have these conditions. How do you think past them in a big way that feeds you spiritually? Yes. It's so exciting and it's so life-giving. So yeah,
when I do my thing, it do be inspiring, especially now that I see like a lot of young people getting into activism now. That's what I love to see. Like, man,
they doing it.
Oh my God, I was so happy. But I was like, okay, how many of these motherfuckers can I break off from the Democratic Party? Because we all know, like, Detroit got
it's a process too, though.
They got a real strong hold on these voters out here, and it's like, you know, when I went around canvassing for y'all, man, it was almost close to impossible to do it. If I didn't have the gift of gab, it won't. You're a Russian puppet. Like how? You know, I gotta, you know, I know how to play my roles and whatnot, but man, that was a mother. You know, but I'm still grateful for everybody. I'm grateful for everybody because everybody teach me, you know, all kinds of things. So even if, you know, you didn't hear me out, maybe I planted that seed that's gonna grow. No.
Exactly. I mean, if nothing else, you made sure that people were aware that there's another option. They may not be ready to act on that right now. They may not do it in 10 years. But there will come a time when they will have to acknowledge to themselves that at least I did hear about this. I do know something about this. Someone did come to me about this. And if that's all that you were able to accomplish, then that's something. I mean, this is a process. Like you said, and you've said a few times, this is a marathon. This ain't no sprint. So, you know, it's not going to happen today. Like I said, this little piece of history, this little mote of time in history, we did this little thing and it keeps going on. You know what I'm saying? So is at the end of the day, it's about, if you find a situation intolerable, are you willing to stand up and say something about it? And that's all I did.
Thanks. Damn. It's powerful words, man. It's powerful, man. Like, I want to thank you again for coming out to the show. We basically got to wrap this up because Andy gonna be bitching about the time limit. But you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, since you are you, I'm pretty sure you get a little special, little bit of special treatment than the other guests. But man, this was powerful, and my heart is beating like so fast speaking to you, and you know, it's just like dream come true actually.
Oh my God.
Speak to you. So I want you to thank yourself, and I'm gonna thank you because you worked hard, and you do deserve some time off. You know, we all do, but y'all ran a hell of a campaign. Despite all the odds, Democratic Party suing the shit out of y'all. I wanted to thank you. Yeah.
Well, I thank you for honoring me with making space today, because you didn't have to do it. And I thank you for your encouragement on Twitter, which like held up a lot for me, because you saw how the people in the Twitter streets come. So it was like, look, no. So I just, you know, it's I want you to know it's completely mutual, and that, you know, for your folks that are listening, y'all just hold your heads up. We are a people that have come through the unimaginable, and we still here. and we're still loving, we're still creating, we're still visioning, and we're gonna keep doing
it. Yeah. Sound beautiful. Dang, okay. That's a cut. Dang, thank you for coming out. Man, this is beautiful. It was way better than what I expected. I thought I was gonna get choked up. I thought I was gonna ask you all kind of dumbass questions. I thought I was gonna ask you. I try not to pin Black women against each other.
Right.
With the Kamala Harris and
I wouldn't have let you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have let you because at the end of the day, she gonna
like how do you like? Don't
she
you
gonna
feel
show
like
people
them chucks with them suits are tacky though? Like,
nah, dude, no, do your thing. Because at the end of the day, I ain't worried about what you're wearing. I'm worried about your policies.
Yeah.
And you are going to show yourself in all your glory to people. And it's not going to be pretty, and people going to get their feelings hurt, and it's going to be what it is.
They're trying to force feed her to us. Cause man, it's so crazy how she just didn't win one delegate and still. There gotta be this shit gotta change. I'm like, God damn.
The masses have to figure that out because at the end of the day, it's like we got these pockets. These pockets of folks that stand where we stand have always existed. They'll always be. But the masses have to understand their own self-interest in everything that's happening and be willing to fight for their own self-interest. These people don't represent you. They don't even think about you. They don't know what you need. They don't care what you need.
I keep telling, I was telling my like the one my best friend, one of my best friends, I'm her wife's sperm donor.
Mm-hmm.
And we get into it over politics all the time. I'm like, look, just because, I know you're biased, but Kamala Harris is a bad person. And I don't give a fuck if you say I'm picky, if you say this is a purity test, whatever the fuck. If you had the power to prosecute the Catholic Church, would you? If you had the power if you had the power to, to put the people in prison that bankrupt the country.
Steve fucking Mnuchin.
Would you? Like,
yes.
Come on now. Okay, I might be picky, but these are important things I'm picking up here. This is not just, she ran a red light and she left her fucking blow dryer plugged up. She don't care about the environment.
No,
this is bigger than that. This is some real shit. People locked up, stand over, they stay in prison. Come on, man. Come on. Stop.
But not only that,
I understand the representation in identity politics, but as far as representation, as far as policies and what we want done, I don't see no representation. As with the shit that we have been talking about throughout the years.
I think when we speak about representation, we've got to be a lot more specific. Yeah. I don't need you to just look like me. I need you to be the right kind of. I need your politics to be right. Mm-hmm. You need to have politics that benefit the planet and the people. And when you don't, it doesn't matter what you look like. You're an enemy to the people. So, I mean, I'm happy that people felt like they had something to celebrate, but at the same time, we have got to look deeper than that. Right. All our skin folk ain't our kinfolk.
I swear, they act like they don't see the shit in the hood. They act like they don't see the shit in the hood. Your man, come on now. Steal from you, and you're gonna sit here like, oh well, they put a black person at the top. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck if they're black? Look who's leading the military right now. Black man. Guess who is he? A war criminal. But that don't matter. That don't matter because he's black. Man.
No, it absolutely matters. Because it's a such thing as us being called on to do other folks' dirty work for them. I don't need us doing that either.
I swear. That's all it is. I'm like, they like, well, somebody has said on Twitter, Joe Biden got the biggest minority, cabinet. I said, nigga, I know niggas that sell out. You act like I don't know a bunch of fucking coons and shit. Like, I'm like,
my thing is, do you, do you? But if you are the type of person, you the type of person that can, step on people to get ahead. If that's what suits you, then do you, boo. Do
Yeah.
you? But
That's why I'm like,
don't fuck with me.
I swear. And all these motherfuckers like I got people calling me out talking about I'm hypocritical and all kind of shit. Talking about oh, you talk shit about these people, but you know, you're making money off of Biden and this and that. I said, no, the fuck I'm not. Somebody said something about my t-shirts. I said, all the money that I make go to the homeless in Detroit. All the money I'm making go to the homeless. If it's not going to the homeless, it's going to a homeless person. Like,
And
I'm making
even
sure
if
that motherfucker is going to somebody under me.
But even if it didn't, at the end of the day, you know, get it how you get it.
Yeah.
Right now it's hard out here.
Yeah. I'm only doing this because I
People
know
do what they do.
Yeah, because I've been homeless more than a handful of times. And being homeless in Michigan is not a fucking, that's a bitch. Especially like people don't understand, you know, it's heartbreaking. You gotta break in cars, you gotta break in garages, you breaking in abandoned houses, schools, just for a place to stay. Hoping that it's a blanket or some other past bum slept in that motherfucker and some blankets and clothes that you can put on because you fucking about to freeze to death. Like this is no joke. And you know, like that's all I want from my people. It's just I want to build tiny homes. I can buy this big ass plot on the east side and build a whole bunch of tiny homes and it can home at least 500 fucking homeless people. That's gonna be enough for at least a third of my east side district. But shit, it's something. It's a start. We can build on from there and maybe get some fucking grants and I can build, you know, whatever. But these people, like, man, these are not, they be hating, low key. They be hating like a motherfucker. They don't give a fuck about socialism. Some dude try to say I'm a capitalist.
Ooh, that's an insult.
I'm like, what? I'm like, none of my shirts are made in America. One guy make my shirts. He get 50% of the cut. I get 20% of the cut because the other percent go to my news organization. The 20% I get go to the homeless people.
You can't please everybody, so I mean, it's always going to be something you do wrong in their eyes.
Oh, you using means of production to do this and that. That's capitalism. No, it's not. I'm not stepping nobody next. No sweatshoppers make my shit for 10 cents and I'm selling it for 25. Yeah. No, come on, bro. Don't do me like that.
People, they gonna say what they say. At the end of the day, you know why you do what you do, and you do what you do. Because somebody always gonna have something to say about
it. Yeah. Motherfucker said something about me smoking weed. Oh, you can't smoke weed on the couch. Man, fuck you. I smoke anywhere I want. Like I just didn't smoke today because, you know, you one of my legends. So I'm trying to be as level-headed as I can be and trying to be out in the clouds. But, you know, and I try to be as respectful as I can. But yeah. Everybody else, I'm blowing clouds in their face.
Well, no judgment here. I mean, you know, it was part of our party platform. I support it. So.
Especially in Michigan, shit.
It was part of our party platform. I mean, it's personal. I mean, the only reason I don't smoke is because I can't, and I've been very open about that.
Yeah. So, your job.
Yeah, we get dropped. So, and I need my job, so I don't do it. But for people who can, you know, particularly people who, you know, deal with depression, deal with anxiety, things like that, it was a very potent medicine for me in that way when I could smoke it. So it was very helpful.
I asked you how it was work. Where was the last place you traveled? Where was the last place they had you travel? How was work? I meant to ask you that.
Oh, I worked out of a little town called Lugoff the other day. We ran down to Sumter and we're patching a road that at some point we're going to resurface. But yeah, I mean, I'm not over the road. I'm regional. I mean, I've worked everywhere from Myrtle Beach to Columbia to as far south as almost Charleston. So.
Damn.
Yep. If you in South Carolina and you riding on riding on a major road, 9 times out of 10, we have something to do with it. You riding on what I
Man,
let.
we could have had a bad one, and they out here, man.
I build roads.
That shit is
I
heartbreaking.
tote dirt and stones and tons and tons and tons of rock.
Man, that shit is like right there. That's like, I don't know. How can I say this without that right there? I love to see that.
Yeah, my girl, when she's
women,
empty,
not only do women make the
26,000
world go round,
26,000 pounds.
women make the world go round. Literally, it's so crazy how men don't see this. I'm like
they do.
It's a man's world. Like women.
No,
make
they
the
do
world
see
go
it.
round.
They do see it.
Yeah.
And anything that you think is a threat to your, folks who feel threats to their authority, to the structures that they've set up, those are the only ones that are threatened by it.
Yeah, because
I feel because they don't see it. They do see it.
For what? Every one man is 3 women or something like that. I'm like, look, they overpopulate us. They are smarter than us. They outlive us. This is a woman's world, bro. Without them, there is no us. Like, if women man, it's nothing. We are nothing without y'all. And when I see women like you out there beating the odds, just doing everything that they said that somebody that look like us can't do, that shit just.
Oh, I smirk all the time when you get people that do a double take. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking your narrative all the way up, ain't I?
Yep, all the way.
Because you see them look like, it's like, you just got out there trying. I had people ask me. I was like, yeah, you see anybody else?
Yep, that's some motivational shit. And I saw you put your boots on the line. I'm like, okay. Like, hold on, let me drop my boot. Let me drop a picture of my boots. We all do some yeah, I do home improvement and construction, so but people will never know. People always think, oh, well, you do this. No, I build houses, motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm blue collar and damn proud of it. And it's nothing, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh yeah. This is what makes you, it gives you character. Makes you
is how I eat. Shit. This is how I put a roof over my head.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Can you imagine being a Wall Street executive? That gotta be a nightmare.
Unless you don't have a conscience, and some people don't.
Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, I like my work partially because it's clean. I can point to a road that I helped resurface or build from nothing.
Yes.
And I can point at that and say, at the end of the day, that is something I helped do.
Mm-hmm. I drive past houses all the time with my kids. Like, I built that.
Exactly.
I put that roof on there.
And it's clean. I don't have to hang my head at the end of the day about my work. I don't have to feel bad because I lied to someone or I stole from someone or I sold somebody a dream and took from them. I didn't do any of those things.
Yes.
And I need that. You know what I'm saying? I need that. So, politics is something that I gotten into, but it is not the thing that defines.
Yeah. I love putting smiles on people's faces. That's probably, I like teaching and I like building. That's my own. That's probably why I'm into politics, because you can build shit and you can teach people. But I always wanted to be a school teacher, but I was always, a little bit, maybe George Bush should have left me behind. But, I try my best.
Your path. That's all.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't. Yeah. But I ain't gonna hold you up. I gotta get out here too. I gotta go shovel this damn snow.
Ooh. No. They over here. And it ain't warm, mind you. They out there barbecuing.
Yeah. You know what? I might just barbecue because I've been wanting Like my girl been making me use this damn air fryer, and I'm just about to die. Man,
I'm a vegetarian, so
yeah,
all
she's a
that shit
vegan
go
vegetarian.
past
And
me.
every time I deep fry and stuff like that, she be like, "Oh my god, the smell is gonna kill me." So I bought an air fryer, and now it's just like I don't get full. Now. I swear, just like I ate like 4 things of pork chops, and I went back and made a couple more like 3 hours later. I was like, "Man, why am I hungry?"
Yeah, I'm in South Carolina, so you already know they throw down here.
Oh,
You
I
already
got
know.
family down there, and I got family in Jacksonville, Florida. That's cooking right now.
Yeah, I lived in Jacksonville. I got family in Jacksonville. I lived in Jacksonville for 12 years, so.
Dang, we probably cousins now.
Yeah, I'm from Milwaukee though, originally from Milwaukee. So are all my people.
Okay.
We're all, people that hate Milwaukee and just refuse to live there.
It sounds like every black person in America.
Man, look, Milwaukee is hard on the soul, bro. I'm trying to tell you. It's a special kind of.
Actually sound like. Well, I'm gonna let you go.
It was such a pleasure.
It was a pleasure to meet you. Thank you.
Take care.
You too.